Take the cord. Good morning, everybody. I have had probably the best night's sleep in quite some time, and I don't know if it was all the work that I've done on my free class. Those consisted of 5 different salsas, and I was really happy with the outcome, and everything worked out well for me, at least yesterday. Today I dropped my breakfast on the floor, had to clean it up, and decided to go another avenue rather than remaking a breakfast that was kind of like eggs and bacon and pancakes. I really went overboard, but it ended up slipping out of my hand after I put on the plate. And so now, instead of remaking all of it, I'm going to have avocado toast. And there's a couple of things that I'm kind of excited about, because there's a couple ways to have it. And if you've made my guacamole recipe, which again is free on my free tutorial course that's on my website at cookingwithjohngruber.com, you may have leftovers, you might not. Leftovers are not pretty common with homemade guacamole. But first, a sip of this. It makes everything better. This is my favorite mug. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's a Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf mug, and it's got tons of facial expressions by Elizabeth Taylor. Love that movie. It's just a great crazy film. Anyway, so there's 2 ways that I enjoy avocado toast, and the first one is on just your basic toast, which I toasted up earlier. This is Arnold brand multigrain toast. I thought I had a healthier option than this, but this one turns out to be pretty decent, because I know, like, of all the ingredients on there, I can pronounce every one of them, and that's kind of what I base it off of. Is it something that I know how it's grown or how it's made? But anyway, so it's a pretty decent multigrain toast. I keep mine in the freezer just for the toast, and then I can toast it up on the highest setting. It comes out just perfect with a few little toasted lines. And another thing I wanted to show you is I messed up. I did suggest that you put a squeeze of lime over the guacamole and then a layer of plastic wrap firm against it. I did not do that. So it did brown a little bit, but it only oxidized. It didn't change its flavor. Like, this is the bright green, this is the brownish avocado, and I'm just going to use that because I'm going to be covering it with an egg. And really, if you put it face down, you don't even see it. So just spoon some on there. That is what to do with the leftovers of the guacamole that you have made from my class. I'm going to set that to the side because there's one other thing that I will add to this, and that's going to be a fried egg. And again, I just fried it up. Now, the secret to the way that I fry up eggs, let me get a spatula, is I use a small pan. I then heat up the pan with about a teaspoon to tablespoon of olive oil on a higher setting to get the oil hot, but then I turn it down and then drop the egg in after I've already turned down the heat. And then I just add a cover and sort of let it steam, and that steam then cooks the top and it doesn't get very brown. And on the lower setting, you won't have a browned egg, you'll have a well-cooked egg. And let me just grab a knife here and see how well I did it. I may have overcooked the egg, so it's not going to have a runny yolk, but it just might. It might be just enough. Well, this one cooked all the way through, but I'm not upset about it because it won't make a mess. So there's a picture. I wish I could zoom in. And there's the guacamole on toast with a fried egg. Now, this also might look like a very large egg, and it is because it's a duck egg. I always found that I prefer duck eggs because of their creamy yolks versus chicken eggs, but you can have it with any type of egg you want in any style. If you don't like a fried egg, you can always go scrambled. You can omit it. You can top it with greens, which is in fact what I'm going to do with the next option. And our next option, which is also fantastic, is, actually I'm going to swap that out because I want to be able to show you a little bit better. Okay. So put that off to the side. I'm going to eat that and this. I'm kind of hungry now at this point. It is 11 o'clock and I still haven't had my breakfast. So the next option is a matzah. Now these matzahs are usually in big boxes, in fact like a whole case, and they are very similar to the flavor of a water cracker. If you've ever had like cheese and crackers, water crackers are smaller versions. These end up being a great alternative for you if you have like wine and cheese, because that's what I do with it. In fact, I have like a couple different cheeses in just one of these, and it makes for a great snack. Also, the ingredients on these are, there's two: water and unbleached, unbromated Passover wheat flour. So it is 2 ingredients. It's unleavened. It's tasty enough if you put something on top of it. In this case, I'm going to use my guacamole. It's also great with peanut butter, and again, a great serving cracker for like a cheese and cracker. So I'm just going to smear that on, and wow, look at that. I know you're saying, John, this is so lame. This video is terrible because it's very basic, but really it's just what to do with the leftover salsa or the leftover guacamole that I have had, suggested you make in my class, and this is another great use for it. So I now have used a little bit more, and if you have to feed more than one person, you'll be able to make a couple more. All right, so that is almost done. The last thing I want to do to this one, though, is I just want to add some greens, and I just took them out of the crisper drawer. Now, bagged greens are not necessarily my favorite. I do prefer like head lettuces, but in this particular style, it's very common to find. It's like a spring mix. It's very common to find in a bag. The bags go bad quickly though. Once they're opened, you almost have to use them up immediately. My recommendation is, if you do want to make them last a little bit, just put in a small bit of paper towel between the plastic bag and your greens, and then set it down in the crisper drawer, allowing air to flow through, and that paper towel will absorb a lot of the moisture from the greens, so you have your greens for a little bit longer. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison yet to see how different it lasts, but I can tell you it is a longer period of time. Well, anyway, so this, I'm just going to break up some greens right on top. Nothing special. And there's another option for avocado toast, and it's just your matzah's cracker with some guacamole on it and some greens. And I am going to say that these make a crummy mess, so be sure to have a napkin, a vacuum cleaner, or a plate around while you're eating this. Thanks for joining me this morning. I hope you have a better morning than I did. I will talk to you next video. Oh, and be sure to visit me at cookingwithjohngruber.com to get that recipe for the guacamole. There's another 4 salsas in addition to that one that you can also get for free at my website. It's a video tutorial. I hope you enjoy it. Till then, subscribe, click the little bell to get notifications, join my Patreon if you want. Actually, I do suggest it. It's pretty cool, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.